I'm Mike.
I'm Merlin.
Great to meet you finally.
Yeah, you
Great.
said it.
I will. I got to go park our vehicle here, and then we'll be back in just a little bit.
Okay.
I take it everyone has gotten their name tags.
I never see drive by and he said, we should stop.
We're working at it. We got people coming in yet.
We'll just go back and talk.
Okay, you can go ahead and talk. That's just fine. I was telling him in the kitchen a little while ago, I'd rather do Central Electric annual meeting than this. There's not so many relatives with that one. But anyway, welcome. This is pretty cool. People have come from all over the United States to Corsica, South Dakota to reunite with the Jacob and Hattie Wolbrink family. Pretty cool. So, thank you all for coming. It makes me nervous being up here, like I said. Yeah, kind of get butterflies in my stomach. Somebody told me once, if you get nervous, start getting upset stomach, just close your eyes and just imagine that everyone in the audience is naked. It's not healthy. Before you leave tonight, we ask that you please have a visit with Gary and Darlene, and they will relieve you of some money. So, that would be appreciated. There will be water that will be brought out to your tables. And if you want coffee or lemonade, they are in the window of the kitchen there. So, that is self-serve. You have to go get that yourself. So, at this time, I'm going to ask Adrian to come up and give us a word of grace. Looks like we get 2 for 1.
That's right. It's a family affair, so we're going to do this as a family too. So Fran is going to lead us in, be present at our table, Lord, because I think most of you will know. If you don't, she'll catch on, and then we'll say a little prayer.
Okay. Be present at our table, Lord. Be here.
Father in heaven, we just do come here with thankful hearts, thankful for the family that you have blessed us with, how we can celebrate this together. We thank you for the heritage that you have blessed us, which we will hear about and celebrate and learn about, and thankful especially that our ancestors had the value system that included you and your things, and real commitment to the church and to Christ, and has carried that on through the ages, through the generations. And we pray that that will continue as we move through this time. So we just really do pray for your blessing all the time. Thankful for safe travel. We thank you. We can ask you to watch over some of those who had special difficulties with the traveling, or for other reasons that they could not be here, especially last minute, that you would be especially near to them and know that we do care about them, and wish that they were here, and that they have our thoughts and prayers as well. So we do pray for your blessing on the food now. We're thankful for it and the hand that prepared it, and just pray for your blessing on the time together. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Adrian. You folks probably heard that Paul is dealing with some health, some heart issues again. So, and Janie was going to come. Her flight got canceled twice yesterday and got canceled again this morning. So Janie will not make it here. So, too bad. All right. I asked Colin to release the tables. So that way, if you're not first, you can't blame me. Colin is the one that should be doing this, the microphone. He has spent, the last 4 years, I think, as the voice of the Corsica Stickney Jaguars. He was the play-by-play guy on the internet for all the basketball games the last 4 years. So he did a great job. So go ahead, Colin, do your work. If everyone could take a seat, we have a guest here with us. This is Alan Vandenhoek. He is a relative of ours. He probably knows more Wolbrink history than, I know a lot more than me, probably more than anyone here. He's done a lot of work on that type stuff. He has brought some pictures, some memorabilia here. So I'm going to let you explain just a little bit, Alan, what you got here.
This picture is of Francie and her mother. And we think the picture is about 157 years old. And the provenance for the picture is we have another picture when my grandparents were married, and this marriage took place in Franchie's house in Harrison. And this picture is in the other picture. So that's unique. So if you come and take a look,
Alan, would you please tell us who your grandparents are? I know, but I don't know that anybody
okay. Well, my grandfather was Henry, and he was the youngest brother.
Alan?
Okay. My grandfather was Henry, and he was the youngest brother in the Britsky and Tracy Wolbrink family. And so we have a picture of when they got married. It was in Tracy's house in Harrison. And this picture is in the corner of this picture. So if you come up later and look, you'll be surprised. I should qualify here. I thought this was this older woman. I thought that was her hair, but it's not her hair. It's a cap. When Lemon and Priestland got married, and she usually cut her hair, and she wore this lace cap. A little weird to me, but. Then I also have another picture. It was taken in 1942 when my Uncle Raymond was inducted into the Army. And it shows clearly that Frances is a little girl of 3 years old, maybe. Joyce is in the picture. Sarah DeBoer is in the picture. And then Charles and Helen and John and Marie, Agnes. So all I say is come and take a look.
work on that. So,
Oh, I don't know about that.
he comes to church on Sunday morning afterwards, and he'll have a picture, or he'll have a little history that he found going through some old pictures. So he's done well, taking an interest in it.
Where did you find this picture, get this picture from?
I'm not really sure of the full history, but apparently when Francie died, it must have gone to Henry's family. And Marge Wolbrink told me about it. I didn't believe it. But when I seen this picture and the other picture, then all of a sudden I began to believe it. And then there's quite a history because when the people on the farm died, Bev Everson grabbed that picture and she took it to the Twin Cities. And she got tired of it, and then she gave it to my sister. And they thought it was a little weird, so then they gave it to me. There's one picture of that family reunion in 1942. There were two other little pictures taken that same day. It was Jacob, Jenny, Gertie, and Edith, and Henry. And we can tell that by seeing the porch and the sun angle. And then there was another picture of Sarah DeBoer, Florence Everson, Trina Wolbrink, and Mildred Brewster. So that's all I have.
Are there any other questions for Alan while he's here? Arlen?
Not a question, but Ellen's celebrating tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think
Alan has his 80th birthday tomorrow. How about singing happy birthday to him? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you.
Cap off and so I don't have a lot of gray hair.
And you have hair.
how long was Wayman overseas before he was killed?
How long was Raymond overseas before he was killed?
We know that he went overseas about the 1st of September of 1944. And then he was killed April 23 of 1945. It was about a week before the end of the war. And this was just a skirmish where he was killed. The real battle, he came through that without a scratch, but in the skirmish he got killed.
Is that, what war front are we talking, Europe or Japanese?
It was northern Italy.
Northern Italy.
And Gerald was in the service at that time, or had been?
He was just a little later. He went to Japan after the war was over.
wife passed away then when Elaine was born? How?
Well,
The question was, did Uncle Henry's wife pass away when Lane was born?
I was thinking we had heard that.
well, no, I think it was, she was pregnant with their 11th child, and she had some gestational, we think she had a stroke.
Okay,
So then she died, and the unborn child was born with her.
okay. And Elaine was two.
Elaine was quite young, too, I think.
Elaine was my school teacher. And sister. Well, and Jean.
Any other questions? Harlan?
We're talking on the cemetery about, that, can't think of her name now, that got shot.
Oh, the little baby, the little girl that got shot riding in the wagon.
Junior told this to me. I didn't know it before. But apparently there was a gun in the bottom of the wagon, and then it went off. And she was struck in the leg and bled to death. I guess they didn't know about tourniquets back then. And her name was Katie, so then your Aunt Katie was named after that aunt.
Anything else? As you can tell, he's got a lot of knowledge.
And a lot of dead ends.
Can you repeat the names of the two women in the picture?
The young girl was Tracy Stopp, who married Wolbrink. And this is her mother. I can't pronounce those Dutch names, but her maiden name was De Vries. And she married, I believe, a John Stopp.
So where was that picture taken?
It had to be taken in Holland because Tracy's mother never came to America. She stayed in Holland.
Yeah, go ahead, Vic.
Do we know how old she was?
Well, I was thinking we should have a contest here and see what we think. I've been guessing 12 years old, but I don't know.
She's not very young.
No.
Do we know why she came here?
Do we know why she came to America?
Well, Sarah Vaenstra told this to me, that their combination house and barn burned down, and they decided it was time to move to America. He was a boss.
What did she say? What did she say?
She was wondering what Sarah's question was.
She doesn't answer.
Okay, about why she came to America.
Sarah said she was married to Wolbrink, and he was the boss.
The story Dad told me was that at that time in Holland, either the two you had hired, you had people working for you, or you worked for somebody. And after their barn burned, well, their house and their barn were connected, so basically they lost everything. And so they were wealthy enough to have people working for them, but they would have to lower their standards, lower their class to, if they rebuilt, well, they wouldn't be able to afford to rebuild. He'd have to go work for somebody else. And so they decided to come to America for a new opportunity.
We know they came, we think they came to South Dakota in the fall of 1883. And then they lived in that little plain shanty that winter. I don't know how they managed with those 3 boys. But that's what they had to do back then to get through that first year. And then the next spring they built the little house.
So which 3 boys were there?
Jacob, Garrett, and John.
Who never married Garrett?
Yes, they were, well, Garrett, he married, if you call that marriage, but he was a hired man for this woman. We have pictures of that. I didn't know I was a comedian.
That house at that Allen that they built.
Well, it was the old chicken coop.
On Gerald's place.
On Gerald's place, yeah.
I have a more general question. Why did they move to this area? Were there lots of Dutch people here? Why did they pick this location in South Dakota?
I haven't worked this out yet. I was going to ask Marley. Ritzky was married the first time to this woman, and then she died in childbirth. And anyway, she had a brother, Theis Sturk, that came to this area. Now, whether Theis came first, and then he told his brother-in-law to come here too.
They were in the whole Iowa area first for a little while, right?
They, probably that summer, they had to get wagons and horses and things, whatever it took to get settled that first winter.
Rice was here first. He encouraged his family.
Okay, Marty's the expert.
Everyone hear that? Please always come up.
Deister, my great grandpa, was here first, and he encouraged his family to come to America. His sister was married to, say the name again? Your
No. Ritzky's first wife.
She died.
She died.
She was a stir.
The child was also the child did not live either. So I like to tell people that Ritzky had his first wife, we'll say she was Jenny. The daughter was Jenny. And then after he married Trinchi, they had a girl, they called her Jenny. And all 3 Jennies died, and then the 4th Jenny finally survived. Yes, and Jenny married, and
And lived here in the area.
yes, she lived to, well, let's say a long, good life.
I rode my bike through the town where Trichy was married a few years ago in Holland, and it was a pleasant area, but they've added more polders since then to create more land north. So it was just a normal looking place.
Anything else? All right. Oh, we got. Do you know anything about the 1888 blizzard? He had heard that they were living on the farm there.
I think that Trichy was pretty savvy with weather, because in Holland, they lived about 2 miles from the North Sea. And I think they were familiar with these weather patterns. And anyway, that morning it started out quite calm, and she decided that the boys should stay home from school. So they never were at school that day. Or the teacher let the kids go home and then they didn't make it.
The Wolbrink family wasn't.
Oh yes, oh yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Alan. Let's give Alan a appreciate it, Alan. There might even be a brownie and some ice cream in the kitchen if you would like some. So. Okay, perfect. Perfect. But we don't have a lot of them. It's already after 8:30 also. We don't have a huge program for tonight, other than, first I want to thank the committee that put this reunion together. Uncle Richard's family, Aunt Ellie's family, and Uncle Gideon's family.
And Uncle Junior's family.
And Phyllis and Karen worked hard. And Ruth. And I just get to talk. So we were here this morning, all these Baxter girls, trying to figure out how to set this up. You know, do we have the table slant this way, or this way, or this way, or this way? There was some discussion going on. Marianne must have been a little perturbed with Gary, because I heard her tell Gary, if you were my husband, I'd probably put poison in your coffee. And Gary said, if you were my wife, I'd probably drink it. Sarah told me if you were unruly, this is what I was supposed to gavel you back in with.
We really need to thank Sheila for arranging the tables the way they are. answered just fine. He said, "You need to get out of the way." And there went Sheila. About her.
5 years ago, when we had this reunion, the comment was made that, you know, we've heard a lot about the Wolbrink side. We've not heard a lot about the Brower side. So, Sarah, and I was told I have to give a lot of credit to Kim Sparks, Harriet's husband, did a lot of work on putting a lot of history and genealogy together. And Sarah said, when Aunt Katie was still alive, that Sarah had spent a fair amount of time with Aunt Katie gathering history. So we are going to have the opportunities to be the recipient of that work tomorrow. So we look forward to that. So, now at this time, I would like to go through and have everyone from the stand up and introduce your families. And I'm sorry, we normally start at the oldest and go to the youngest, but being I have the microphone, the youngest gets to go first. And Karen is still busy working, but Karen is the youngest of the youngest. So Karen, you need to come up here and tell about your family that is here yet, and I guess whatever else you want to enlighten us with.
Well, my family kind of all abandoned me tonight. They were just about all here, and now they're all gone already, so. They went to, well, I think all our kids kind of left. They went to help Jason with food for tomorrow, so they were going to go help him put some things together. But my husband is here, Marley. And Michael and Kristen were here, and Maria was here, and Russ with their 2 little boys. But, yeah, I don't know what else I got to say.
And what about your mom?
Oh yeah, Mom's here. But she's not the youngest here.
And she wants to meet Victor.
I don't know.
Yeah, Victor was our ring bearer. Eric, he's my ring bearer. Well, he was the best bearer.
Well, when I was Michael Jr., and he had a big family, and 2 ministers in the family, I thought, oh, that's going to be so scary. And when the first time they came to visit, I was very nervous, and Grandpa Wolbrink was still living, and he lived with us at the time. And no problem at all. A very good family. So I loved it. So I'm glad to be a Wolbrink. I wasn't supposed to, but I'm a Wolbrink and I still am. Glad to be here tonight.
Okay, and Victor? Where's Victor? Right there.
Yeah, he was my ring bearer, our ring bearer.
No, I don't know. 4 years old.
4 years old. I should have brought my wedding book.
Did I do my job okay?
Yeah. Because I'm taking on my knuckles right now, but yeah, we did all right.
Oh,
Yeah, it's our family.
So, did Uncle William marry you, or did Uncle Gideon?
Uncle Gideon.
Gideon did?
Should have brought my wedding book.
Yeah.
Now, I heard a different story recently. Who was your flower girl?
Yes, Lona Russ, cousin man.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a rumor now, but I think maybe I heard that the flower girl was spreading the petals, and the ring bearer came and picked them all up.
Are
everybody say if something had happened, it is what a child was. It is something when you get old. You can say that a lot.
So-
I'd like to be in a relation and family.
So Mom lives in the assisted living just a few blocks away from here, so.
Everything's still in the lawn, in the house the way I left it. Simple house.
Well, I'm the middle child of Junior and Elvis. My husband Steve is back there yet. Colin was here, you obviously saw him tonight. He's our youngest, just graduated from high school, going to Dordt University next month. Our daughter Afton teaches 6th grade English in Sioux City, Iowa. And our son Connor works for Caterpillar in Sumter, South Carolina, and he will be getting married in January.
And I'm Dwayne, the youngest grandson of Grandpa and Grandma. So, my wife Ruth is in the kitchen. Our daughter Angela was here helping serve. She's got 3 boys. Jason was here, you'll see his work the rest of the weekend. He has 2 girls. And then, Angela lives in Stickney, so our family is quite spread out. Angela lives in Stickney. Jason lives 3 miles from us. Jeremy is the one that lives quite a ways away. He lives in Mount Vernon. That's about a 30-mile drive. And he's got 2 daughters. That's our family. Next is Aunt Sarah's family. So, one or all, however you want to do it. That's good. You all got to come up. You can decide how you want to speak. Well, I guess you want to start. I'll get it out of the way so I go sit down. So anyway, I'm Daryl. My wife Margene over there. We have a daughter and her husband in town here. They have 2 kids. Let's see, my oldest daughter and her husband, they have 4, and they have 4 great-grandchildren, or grandchildren, so I have 4 great-grandkids. And one of their daughters lives in Yankton. She's a policewoman over there. Jager is a lineman up at Coleman, and we got a stay-home mom, and one is a surgical nurse, so she has some real interesting stories to tell that I'm not supposed to tell. So, and then my son Ken and his wife live close to Marshall, Minnesota, and they're really into the racing, pretty big. They race tomorrow night. They race Sunday night. Matt drives the car. They were first place, and then they blew up an engine, so now they're 3rd or something like that. So we have some interesting times around home. We like mechanical stuff, so that's kind of overview of what we got. Merlin, and I lost my wife Lorraine 4 years ago in July. And I never had children. I have a wonderful friend, Diane Hines, and I moved to Pipestone, Minnesota, and now I have children with her. I mean, it's her kids, and 2 puppies, Buddy and Buster. And I don't know what else to. I don't know.
So I'm here with my husband, I'm Bonnie of Sarah and Orville, and I'm here with my husband Larry. Tim and Grace, our second to the youngest son, was here with their little one, but they left already too. It's bedtime for more than those little ones, but and we have 5 other children that are spread out. One family's by Minneapolis, and one is down in Nebraska, one up by the oil patch in North Dakota, and then we have 3 that live close by. So we're glad for the grandkids that are close. And I told my daughter, it's kind of nice, I'm looking forward to a reunion where I don't have to chase little kids. I can just visit now. So it's good, it's good. I'm glad to see all your faces here, and I'm glad we can be here together.
Thank you. And Katie, I don't believe we have anyone from her family here. Her children have all passed on, so we did reach out to a granddaughter. Oh, and yeah, that's right, Marianne talked to Marilyn, but she's
doing well.
okay. Marianne says Marilyn is doing well, so thank you. Uncle Gideon. I know we have representation from Uncle Gideon's family. 2 less than would like to be here.
Dwayne has already said that Paul and Janie are really, really sad that they can't be here. Janie said this morning when she found out that her last flight was canceled, the 3rd one, she said, well, I'm going back to bed and pull the covers over my head. I'm not going to get up after the rest of the day. So she was really disappointed. And the latest on Paul, who has spent the day in the emergency room, is he's been discharged, which I guess is good news. At least it's not, they did tests on his heart, and that all came back good. So I don't think he knows yet what the fever was all about, but this is not his heart. You may or may not have known that he had open heart surgery in November, and he was really recovering well, but then this snafu happened, and they're not sure what it's related to. Anyway, we're all fine. Our families are wonderful, and our grandchildren our children are wonderful, our grandkids are wonderful. We did the same dinner. Oh yeah, you all know me, right? Janie's the oldest, Paul's the only son. I'm the middle child, Harriet. Martha is the youngest. And you can come and talk to us if you want to know about the specifics of our life. The only big news that I've shared is that Janie's son, Dirk, the one who looks just, yes it is. Janie is meeting her this weekend. No, next weekend. Well, some of you know Dirk. He looks just like Gideon. In fact, it's uncanny how much they look alike. Well, he's never married, and he's 48 years old, but he has a girlfriend. So Janie's really happy. Yes, I'm Martha, and my husband Michael is sitting back there, and
this is my brother-in-law.
Yeah, and actually, Joe is
married to Harriet.
He didn't know if they never said anything about you two.
Thank you, Martha, for bringing it. Harriet is my first wife.
We have 2 daughters, and they both live in the Ann Arbor, Michigan area. And we are in that area part of the year. We're up north at northern Michigan house part of the year. And we have 2 grandchildren, Lillian and Bobby. Those are Ellen's children. And I have grandchildren that are the identical ages to Martha's, which is just a big irony, but... What? Oh yeah, I do share these. Occasionally with Joe.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, we're fine.
And she's still your first wife.
After tonight, she might not be.
All right, Uncle John's family, let's hear about your drama. You're the closest, Mary, so you're first. Oh, there comes Irene.
I'm sorry, we'll be here a while. Trying to decide who's going to talk first.
Mine is short because it's just Matt and I, so that's all we're from Springfield. So I had to give up on course because moved to Springfield and I'm still there 34 years later. I'm still stuck in Springfield. But it's good. It's good.
Irene, you're retired elementary teacher, watches over me all the time. Look what happened when I ate dessert. That's what I put up with, but Irene watching me all the time.
She brought a bill.
I'm Mary, the middle child. Carla's a spoiled one. I know, I know. And we live in Corsica here, so I didn't stray far, except for a couple of years, and lived right across the high school from where I went to school. And our oldest son Brian, and daughter-in-law Renee are here, and they live in Parkson, have 3 kids. Kelby is their youngest, is here. And then our youngest son Michael, and daughter-in-law Darcy, and their little Everett and Sienna live in Corsica here also. And our other daughter only daughter, lives in Platte, and our other son lives in Millbank, South Dakota. So we're all in the state, and oh yeah, I have a husband here too. Joe will be Daddy, Michael will be Daddy, and Daddy needs you. We took them from the wrong side of the tracks, you know. They were on the east side of town, so they kind of don't count. I do have to tell this one little story. It's with Bonnie and Denny. You know, when we were growing up, dating maybe a Lutheran was not, or anything besides Reform, was not so kosher. So anyway, he said to me, why did you have to go so far to get a boyfriend, clear across the other side of, because Denny was from Parkson, the hillside area. Actually, Denny and Bonnie grew up 2 miles apart. And so then I married Denny and Harlan married Bonnie, and then Dad said one time, he said, well, it all evened out. We got Bonnie in the Reformed Church, and Mary left the Reformed Church, but we got Bonnie in the Reformed Church, so it's all good.
I'm going to begin with, I'm Harlan, and I'm with Bonnie, my wife. And she's been with me we celebrated our 50th last August. We're living on the home farm where I grew up, John Wolbrink Farm. We're still out there yet. We have 4 children. Let's see. Sorry. Tammy's in Rock Valley. Oh, top to bottom? Okay. Tammy's in Rock Valley with her husband Heath, and they have 2 children. And she recently got married to her high school sweetheart. Next daughter, Stephanie, is in Champaign, Illinois. They have 2 children. Our next son, Chad, is in Denver. And our next son, Ryan, is in Harrisburg, which for you out-of-towners is right close to Sioux Falls. He's the one
He's doing our crop work out at the farm. Well, he's renting the ground from us with the idea, with the understanding that I'll help him out a little bit, which I do occasionally. I help him out a little bit, but then which I enjoy doing. I'm still capable of doing a little bit yet, so I putter around a little bit out there and help him out, like when he needs some help. We still have the cattle and some stock cows, and we put up the hay and have the pasture. And let's see, oh yeah, I'm glad that Michael pointed out that Harriet has a spouse here, because I was sitting beside this guy all evening, and I wondered how he fit in here if he was sitting right the street. Anyhow, yes. I think that's all I have to say. That's it for the John Wolbrink family. I think Uncle Gary is next. So, and we have Debbie here, and Cindy. Oh. Well, we're going to go out of order.
Okay, hi, I'm Deb. I'm the youngest of Garrett and Agnes family, and my two brothers. Hopefully, Steve for sure will be here tomorrow. Steve and Diana, one of their kids is coming. Possibly Gary and Connie. It just depends. They really want to come. Gary's been feeling a little bit better the last couple of days. So we hope that they really want to come. So my two brothers have alpha-1. It's a genetic disorder that you guys should be aware of because it is in the family. My sister Pat passed away from that. It's a liver disease that attacks the lungs, and so they have extreme COPD, both of them do. So, and in my sister's case, it attacked her liver, so that went quicker. So, anyway, and my niece is here, and her mom's. I'll let you explain that. But anyway, I'll tell a little bit about my family. I live in Sioux Falls. I lost my husband 10 years ago. You guys maybe remember John. And I have 3 kids, and 2 of them are in Sioux Falls. Adam and Amanda. I have 2 grandchildren. Live a block from me, which is real handy. So I babysat for them now and then. And then my little son is in at the farm, Mount Vernon. He's farming, took over the cattle and everything, and he works for the county. And I would say Adam works for, he's a writer for this computer company. Works from home, but anyway. And then Courtney is a hairdresser like me, but she just does nails, and she does that in Sioux Falls. And yeah, that's about it for me. So.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and my mom was Arlene and of Garrett. She was oldest, and I'm the oldest of Mom's family anyway, of Arlene's. And we have 4 kids. Joey and Bree are the oldest, or Joey's the oldest, and married to Bree, and they have 1 little son, Vance. And then we have Jenny, and she's married to Travis, and they have 2 kids, and they live in Florida, Clearwater, Florida. And then it's Andy. He's married and has 2 boys, and they live right outside of Mitchell. And then we have Megan, and she also lives in Clearwater, Florida. She will get married in September, and that will be the last one. So that's about it.
Okay, now Aunt Nellie's family. Sorry. Mariana, I
I
heard
have a
you.
husband, I wanna leave him here.
You're supposed to compare your speech to a woman's skirt.
Oh, that is.
Long enough to cover the basics, short enough to keep your interest.
Okay, I'm Harold Dykstra, and as my native dad says, Nellie's best son. And some might say the worst, but anyway, I am the only boy, so that's why I can say that with confidence. Okay, my wife is sitting back there, Carol. We've been married just about 59 years, and we have 2 daughters. Well, Paula and Paul, they just walked in a few minutes ago. They got ice cream. Why don't you stand up a second?
And cold.
And that's and Paul back there. And Colton, he's, you can see him when he stands up. They have 3 more children. They're older. The oldest is a daughter, and she and her husband, Cody, are they on the way or are they in Waco now?
They're there.
Okay, they just moved from Denver to Waco, Texas. He has a position at Baylor University as an academic advisor. And then the next one landed is in Denver. He is a computer geek designing websites. And his fiance is in sales in the computer business also. And then the next girl is a mechanical engineer. She and her husband are in Seattle. Her husband also works for Jeff Bezos, the rocket company. So they're in, and Jasmine just moved to a software company. She was with technology, advanced technology company. That so, and then Colton, well, he's not going on the rocket, but he is going up and down the road every day in his 18-wheeler hauling things. So that's so. I think that's about it for me.
I'm Sarah, the oldest of the daughters. I live in New Holland. My husband died 16 years ago. I have 3 children. Actually, Martin and Sherilyn and the children were out the past week. They had to leave for home yesterday. They came for my grandson's wedding last Saturday. I have one son, Steve, who was here. His wife couldn't be here this evening. And then I'm very happy to have our daughter Keith and Sheila. And then their 2 daughters, Hannah and Mara, here. The past week, they came for the wedding last Saturday. First reunion they've been to, I think, or in a long time anyway. So, and they live in Zeeland, Michigan.
Well, the first thing I want to say, I'm Harriet, and you know, we are the only 2 who do not color our hair. And that is true. Anyway, I am second from the bottom of this. Yes, you're right. You will always be the baby. And I live in Washington State. My husband and I used to live on the west side, and 4 years ago we moved to the east side. It's the desert in that part of Washington State, and we moved there because that's where our son and his family live. They have 2 children, and our daughter is an attorney in Manhattan, and they have 3 dogs.
I'm Mary Ann, married to Paul
sitting over there. We have no children, we have no parents, we're basically orphaned. Anyway, we've been in Auburn, Alabama for almost 25 years, and Paul will soon be retiring as Associate Dean for the School of Pharmacy, and only the Lord knows what's ahead. Sister Dorothy would love to have been here. She's married to Wayne Lund, and in February they were in a car accident, and he's had a lot of problems since then. Had a broken hip, pelvis, other injuries, and about 10 years ago, he had a kidney removed because of cancer, and that he had always been very stable with that, but now his heart is involved, and he's suffering with congestive heart failure, and it's a real struggle. So Dorothy was really basically taking care of him, and they both would love to have been here.
I am Darlene. I will always be the baby, which I am grateful for. We're all getting older, and so staying the younger is still wonderful. So my husband Gary over there, we come from the Portland, Oregon area. Please don't judge us because I say Portland. We are in the news once in a while, but Gary and I live about 25 miles out of Portland. We do commute into Portland, though, yet every day to the office. We have been married as of last week, 28 years, and I have worked with him alongside in the financial business for 27 and a half years. So we do spend a lot of time together. He thinks we've been married about 50, 60 years. But we keep busy, and as Carol says, we play hard and we work hard. But we're very involved in the church and in the Christian school who are our children. So we keep them happy and learning to love the Lord. So.
And Dorothy lives in the Portland area also. Well, across the river into Washington State.
Uncle William's family. I think they'd probably get the prize for the biggest representation here. That's pretty cool.
That's
And no fun, the best for free.
What did you say, David?
I didn't hear it either.
You're paying for it, it's free.
Well, first of all, Candy sent her pictures as thinking you all today as you gather for the reunion. What is it, 8 years ago already that Brother Dean passed away, and so she's still out there doing well with her Jeff and she and his wife and Rhonda and the family there is all doing well. So they send her greetings. That was great. And then the team from West Salem, Wisconsin. The one who is the charge of the team. Soon to be a 10th grader, a 4th grader, and a champion of the soccer team, Isaac Adrian. And the nifty, crafty Elsa June, soon to be a 6th grader. And the one who loves the animals and the fisherman, the champion fisherman, soon to be 8th grader, Josiah Williams. And then, last but not least, of the little ones, not so little anymore, the soon to be 10th grader, Gideon Antoine. And the one who tries to keep them all in order and their schedules coordinated and does a great job of that, their mother, Rose. And the one who thinks he's in charge and really is the spiritual head of the family, our son Daniel. Then our next son and his wife and their dog are in Colorado Springs. He works from home, so he takes care of something like 6,000 pilots, but never sees them. Does it all by email and phone and that type of thing. Alex and ML and their dog Jack. And then, the number one son, he says, Michael, and from Lakeville, Minnesota, with his family, who are here, Jody and Sydney. And their two dogs are out in the camper, so if you want to see them and have fun with them too, come out with them. And continuing in approximate order of age, my wife Fran and I have been married, 1 week less than Harold and Carol have. So soon be 59 years as well. Right. And there's the rest of the family. Let me, Adrian. Okay. There's the rest of the family.
Youngest
Youngest?
Youngest girl in the family.
Right. I'm the prize. You know, when you get to be, I said to Harold a while ago, you're pretty lucky to have all those sisters. I didn't have one. But I have 3 brothers, and of course, our youngest one, Dean, we miss him often. And I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, with each a spouse, so that makes 8 children. The oldest one is a jet pilot, and I understand he's in Norfolk, Virginia tonight. And the second one is Ivan and, it's Ron and Julie, and Ivan and Sarah, and they are in Waseca, Wisconsin, and one is with insurance, and he is with a plumber, and they have Isabel and Isaac. Isabel has graduated from the first year of college, and Isaac is at Fort Lauderdale, Missouri. He's with the Guard and will graduate from his first 6 weeks the 17th of August, and then he will be there until the 1st of October, and then start his college education in the new year. Then we have Lynn, and many of the relatives in traveling through. Lynn has started a new coffee shop in Blue Earth, and so she sent me a text. She said, I haven't been able to be at the reunion because she's really tied down when she's the owner of this new coffee shop and ice cream place and has no employees at all, so she can't, but she has really benefited from visiting all the relatives that have come through there traveling to the reunion. And then they have 2 boys. Corey is married to Anna and lives in Sioux Falls, and Jordan lives in Mankato, is married to Jennifer, and he is finishing his education there and will graduate sometime during the year. He has, I think, 1 semester left, and then he will be going into a CPA. And then my youngest daughter lives by Des Moines. Her husband is a corporate attorney, and they have 9 children, and she homeschools, and I don't know how they keep all that straight with all of that. Her youngest one will be 6 in August. The oldest one is married and lives close by, and she is a pediatric trauma nurse in Des Moines. And of course, the other one have various jobs in between.
And I made a big move in March, and I now live in Blue Earth, so I'm able to go and see Lynn, every day. And Mark works in Tafco in Blue Earth. So I have 13 grandchildren with 3 married ones, so that gives me 16 grandchildren.
You can count better than I can. A few years ago, we were doing something like this, and Uncle Junior was introducing his kids, and he said, either of Karen or Phyllis, I'm proud of my kids, but they really didn't go very far. They only went 1 mile. And I think that was Phyllis that stood up, grabbed the mic, and said, what are you talking about? You're still living in the house where you were born. I'm proud that all 4 of my kids are here. Vic and Tammy and Susan and Mark are all here. And grandchildren and friends and spouses. And I'm not really able to remember all the names. When I meet them, I do call them by name. But if I have to say it on the spur of the moment, it's difficult for me. But I have an excuse. My wife Rosie is here as well. And if we combine the 2 of our families and their spouses, we have 54.
Wow.
Don't you wish we had our Christmas? Don't you? Christmas shopping is difficult. So we let them all do their own. Well, I'm proud that all of my kids are here, and thank them for coming. And see, I think Rhea and Kevin came over 1,000 miles, and a couple from Milwaukee, and a couple from not too far from Milwaukee. So they put a lot of miles on. I'm very appreciative. Thanks, guys.
Comment, you heard about the houses, the initial houses and so on, and in some of the other pictures that I brought from, you've seen, they've been here before, some of our previous, but included in those are a couple of pictures of the, what you refer to it as the chicken house now, and then the little house. So if you want to see some of those, they're in that group of pictures.
All right, Francis, you want to come and tell us about Uncle Charles's family?
Well, I'm not very good at talking, so this won't last too long. But sorry to say, I'm the only one of our family that's here tonight, or of my siblings. My sister Joyce is living in Orange City, Iowa, in an assisted living there, and she's not able to come. She has trouble walking, and that she can't see very well either. But she was here last year, and I think a lot of you seen her then. But she's doing really well. Her mind is really, really sharp, and she can really talk. We can really visit. So we visit a lot on the telephone. And then Arnie and Bernetta are not here tonight either because they are at the rehearsal supper in Mitchell for their granddaughter Stacy, who will be married tomorrow. So they won't be able to be here either. And I am the middle child. I am Frances, and I'm called Frances when I'm with the Wolbrinks. I'm called Fran when I'm with the new ones. I'm always Fran. But anyway, I'm the middle child. I was married to Leonard D. Ward. He passed away in 1987 already, so that's
some 30 years ago, so I've been alone since that. We had 3 children, and none of them are here tonight, but Dan and Kayleen will most likely be in part of the reunion sometime. Dan and Kayleen, we have 3 children. Dan and Kayleen live on our farm by Stickney, and they have 2 children. And Dan and Dave and Judy live in Dorr, Michigan. They also have 2 children. And then Dawn lives in Sioux Falls now, and she has 2 boys. And so I have 6 grandchildren, but I also have 11 great-grandchildren. So I'm pretty proud of them. And I think that's covered everybody pretty well.
Okay, Lois, Uncle Richard's family.
Well, I won't make the mistake that some of you did. My husband, John, is here with me.
Do you mean Harriet?
I am Lois, and I'm the princess of Richard's family. I'm the youngest and the only daughter. So I can say I was the princess. My oldest brother, Alan, was the oldest grandchild, and if he were living, he would be 90 in October. He passed away in 2003. So, and Jim and Karen are still in South Carolina on Fripp Island. We have not been together since the last reunion, and he didn't feel he was ready to come, that he was able to travel now. John and I are going to go to South Carolina to help Jim celebrate his 80th birthday in September. So that will be the first that we've seen him in 5 years. But I think they're doing well. None of our 3 kids were able to come today or to this reunion. Heather and Ryan have usually been here for the reunions. They have 3 boys. They're in Bismarck. Yeah, busy lives. Their oldest is in college. Rick and Melissa are still in Texas, and they have 3 boys, and their guys are little guys from 6 to 9. So they're still little guys. They're in Texas. So if you have little boys in Texas, you will be involved with baseball, since the season is about 10 months long there. You go from the spring season, and that ends in the middle of summer, and then you go to the fall season, and that starts the beginning of August. So you'll play baseball. And they're doing well in Texas. Peter is still in Fort Collins, and he has 1 son and 1 daughter. So we have 7 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And John and I are really glad that we get over here once in a while, so that you local people, we get to see a lot more than we used to. We did make a big move a year ago, and we moved from our house to a 2-bedroom condo. And that has been quite liberating. That we don't have so much stuff. We've already done that sorting. And
We have only what we need and not one thing more. But it's all working out well. So, good to be here.
All right, well, thank you everyone for sharing. No, yes, Tom?
I live in the home place, and we got lots of company. And Grandpa Wolbrink lived with us for, I don't know, 3 years? About 3 years. And kids got spoiled a lot. John and Rick came over quite often, and he came on the tractor sometimes, because they lived a mile from us, and Nellie and Richard lived a mile from us. So our kids were always pretty well spoiled, growing up with them.
Not spoiled, just loved. We weren't spoiled, we were just loved.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, normally we do pictures at this time, but being it's already 9:30, I think we will wait with the main picture episode till tomorrow. But who here is here tonight that will not be here tomorrow? The Francis? Anyone else? Oh, perfect. Glad to have you all back again. Francis, we want you to line up, not line up, we want you to stand up, and so we can all take your picture. So, she declines that, I guess. So we'll see what tomorrow evening. So Dan and Kayleen probably be there so we can see once then. So I think that comes to the end of our program for this evening. So does anyone, Sarah or any of the committee, you have any announcements?
Scheduled for tomorrow?
Coffee will be on at 10:30 right here. And lunch will be at noon tomorrow. So then we'll see where the afternoon goes.
And what time does the presentation start?
Presentation will be shortly after lunch.
Okay.
1 o'clock, a little after 1. So. All right.
May I just say, I would like to just thank Sarah for making the picture board of the family and the genealogy board or whatever. I know she put a lot of work into that. And, it's great.
And Alan is still here yet with his pictures, so you're sure welcome to come up and take a look at that. And if you have any more questions for him or so, I'm sure he can answer. Would be happy to talk to you. So with that will end the organized portion of this evening. We will see you tomorrow morning.